Works Committee, when Mr. Conroy was going through this whole process of approving the resolution. I think we approved it actually twice.
That's correct.
At the state. I also remember the meeting that we set forth to have out there. I think the commissioners were invited. I think all three were there. Council members of the committee and others were invited to go out, along with any other individuals, I think at the time, to meet out there with DPW and the state officials to walk the project. I also had requested what you did was stake the project, so we understood where the boundaries were by colored stakes. We understood that the corner there where it was, how many trees might come down, not come down. There was talk about those trees back 2.5 years ago. The wall was an issue, and we said, and I remember Mr. Conroy, you're going to put a stone wall in, and that was the end of that discussion. I also remember about talking about the scope of the sidewalk even further, heading further south. All right, that the problem was there wasn't enough road width to put sidewalks without taking property, and can we put a footpath after this project is finished? Because there's no room, obviously, on the west side of the road. This is heading south from the bridge. So all those I thought got better fairly well, and I wound up voting for the project, figuring, okay, we had a lot of input from the community, incorporated that into the project, understood the 12-foot rule for the height of the bridge, understood all that. That was not only passed once or twice, and there were people on the council who didn't vote for it. It wasn't a unanimous decision across the board. But at that point, we authorized the mayor at that point. He enters into the contract with the state on a resolution, goes to the state, says, go spend funds, go seek federal funding for this, in good faith. Now, I heard a comment tonight which disturbed me, that basically indicated that state officials who came down and told us, oh, but by the way, if you don't do this project, that we're going to ask anywhere from $500 to $700 when we get all the counting done, because the feds gave us money for this project underneath your authorization that you were going to move forward with the project. And the state's going to have to refund the feds, and vice versa, we're going to come to the city and ask for, that's capital money, right, back to us for the expenditure for what we put into this project for, between takings, land agreements for right-of-ways, and all the plans, surveys, et cetera, et cetera. And I do really appreciate the mayor putting that together, being a man of his word, a person of his word, that we're invited to come to that table. But somebody here tonight called those three people liars, and that disturbed me. If you can prove that, then I will take that into consideration. But I think the three individuals from the state were honest and sincere, and I'll be probably honest with you, I was just taking a little annoyed that they even had to go through this process, just the fact that we're so far down this pipe. But they came down with all reasonability and walked through it. I would only ask them moving forward, because we talked about trust, and I understand that the trust was that we put stone walls in, we added some more trees in, we staked it and actually pulled back one corner just a tad, if I remember correctly, on this thing, to listening to the constituents at the time, what their concerns were at the time, and trying to incorporate the project, knowing not everybody's going to be happy. That, Mr. Chairman of the Public Works Committee, if you could add a slight bit of language, which is not 100%, but where it says more reasonable, after simultaneously address safety concerns and safety issues and the concerns of the community, and where reasonable, be incorporated in the scope of the project. It might be simple wording that I'm offering as an amendment that takes the next step up. It doesn't guarantee it, nothing guarantees it. Our watch on this project is a guarantee to the public that we're going to do what we promised to do, and I know the mayor's going to be, I'm assuming, holding Mr. Albert accountable for this and listening to the constituents. If I can offer that, so I'd offer that as an amendment, if that's all right. So I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it. Sure. Yeah. Added to the last sentence is approval of this line item is provided that a committee be created to study possibilities to modify the project in order to simultaneously address the safety issues and the concerns of the community to where reasonable be incorporated in the scope of the project. And the reason I word the word reasonable, somebody comes back and says, I want elms that were destroyed by the Dutch elm disease, they're $5,000 a piece, that does not make sense. But if we have, reasonable requests, I think they should be incorporated.
Feasible and reasonable.
Okay, and we'll take the attorney's advice and use the word feasible. That makes it a little bit tighter.
Feasible.
Is that all right with everybody? All right. You want me to repeat it one more time?
Yes.
So So I'm adding the language, where feasible, addressing concerns of the community, where feasible, be incorporated into the scope of the project. Very simple. We're taking that one step a little bit further, saying we're going to hear, listen, go back, discuss in the meantime about extending the sidewalks further down, about any other issues, and with a reasonable cost, because we're going to have to fund this. These parts were coming from the city, from my understanding. So we'll have to vote for capital line item when it comes about. That if they're reasonable, let's do it. Feasible.
We're reasonably feasible.
Reasonable and
Reasonably
We're reasonably
feasible. Well, we have an attorney in the room.
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor? Mr. Watts?
Okay.
Are you finished, Mr. Epstein?
Yes, so I made a motion for that as amendment.
Okay, the motion on the floor as amended.
Okay.
Mr. Watts?
Can we have a 2-minute recess?